Usually, when a major organization adopts a powerful new tool, the implementation is just heavily, heavily controlled.
Oh, totally. It has to be.
Right. Like, think about upgrading the heavy machinery on a physical factory floor. You bolt the new presses to the concrete, you install laser safety guards, you map out the emergency exits.
Yeah, and you train the operators for, what, 6 weeks before you ever let someone even turn the key?
Exactly.
Mm.
Because the process is methodical by design. Every potential point of failure is mapped out long before the equipment goes live.
Right, which gives everyone up and down the corporate ladder this sense of security. You know the emergency stop button is clearly labeled and it's right there within reach.
But if you step into the modern workplace right now and you look at the rollout of generative AI, that factory floor is just pure chaos.
It really is. It's the Wild West.
We have operators running the heavy machinery at triple speed, but the safety guards are, like, still sitting in a cardboard box somewhere.
And nobody actually knows where the off switch is.
Right? So today's mission for this deep dive is highly practical for you listening. We're exploring how to harness the incredible, just unprecedented speed of AI without exposing yourself or your company to massive career-ending risks.
Because that's the tightrope, isn't it? Figuring out how to close that AI skills gap without turning your actual work week into this paralyzing nightmare of bureaucratic compliance theater.
100%. We are all trying to figure out how to be incredibly fast without being incredibly reckless.
Exactly.
So to navigate this, we are drawing from a deeply insightful entry in the Marketing Deep Dive series. Specifically, it's a blog post by global CPG expert Denyse Drummond-Dunn at C3 Centricity.
Yeah, and it's titled Defensible Intelligence, 6 AI Literacy Habits for CPG Leaders.
And the insights here are vital for you, whether you manage global brands or you're simply trying to thrive in a digital-first role. Because we really have to start with the shiny promise driving all of this chaos, right, which is just sheer velocity.
Just speed is what everyone wants.
Yeah, and the productivity gains cited in the source material are honestly staggering. Like, Unilever published results in September 2025 showing their AI-assisted content creation was running up to 30% faster than their traditional workflows.
30% is huge.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And they weren't just pumping out faster garbage. They actually saw measurable improvements in video completion rates and click-through rates.
Yeah. And P&G reported something similar. They were moving 12% faster when generative AI supports their teams.
Wow.
But a really crucial detail in the P&G data is that their peak performance happened when AI supported human interaction rather than trying to, replace it entirely.
Okay, so keeping the humans in the loop.
Right. They are using it to handle the rough synthesis of data so the human teams can spend their time debating the higher-level strategy. And those are undeniably real commercial gains. I mean, no executive is going to ignore a 30% increase in output velocity.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Turning the dial up to 130% capacity places immense stress on an organization's internal plumbing.
Oh, for sure.
Sign-off processes, legal reviews, fact-checking protocols, those were all built for human speed. So when you suddenly flood that legacy system with a massive volume of AI-generated assets, the pipes burst.
Because if your team is producing 30% more content by Friday, somebody still has to actually read, verify, and approve 30% more content by Friday.
Exactly. And behind those shiny productivity numbers is a terrifying lack of safety nets.
Yeah, the stats on this are kind of wild.
They really are. In March 2026, a joint release from the Thomson Reuters Foundation and UNESCO revealed that only 12% of companies have a policy ensuring human oversight of AI systems.
Wait, only 12%?
Only 12, meaning 88% of companies are essentially flying blind on the oversight front.
That is deeply concerning.
Oh, it gets worse. The 2025 AI Company Data Initiative report paints an even bleaker picture. Nearly 90% of companies lack any named AI governance framework whatsoever.
Good grief.
And furthermore, only 2.3% have a dedicated complaints mechanism for AI-related issues. The accountability vacuum across the corporate landscape is just massive.
Okay, I'm struggling to square those two realities here. We have all these companies rapidly adopting AI, getting these 30% speed boosts, while simultaneously having virtually zero rules for how to oversee it.
Yep, that's the reality.
My initial thought is, well, maybe this is just a software proficiency problem, right? Like, people are fumbling with the tools because it's new technology. Don't we just need HR to roll out a few more of those mandatory corporate training modules?
You'd think so, but the data completely dismantles the idea that standard training is the fix.
Really?
Yeah. The DataCamp 2026 State of Data and AI Literacy Report shows that 82% of enterprise leaders say their organization actively provides AI training.
Oh, okay, so they are doing it.
They have the video modules, they have the little multiple choice quizzes, yet 59% of those same organizations still report a severe AI skills gap.
Wow. So the traditional compliance videos just aren't translating to daily work at all.
Not even a little. I mean, watching a 45-minute video on what is a large language model doesn't actually help a mid-level manager figure out if they're allowed to paste a specific consumer sentiment spreadsheet into a prompt.
Right, because it's too theoretical.
Exactly. The gap isn't about access to the software. It's about what Denyse Drummond-Dunn calls applied workforce fluency.
Applied workforce fluency, I like that.
Genuine AI literacy is about daily operational readiness. It's asking, can a marketing team explain exactly what AI was used for on a given slide deck, what it was explicitly not used for, and what human verification was applied before that slide deck influenced a million-dollar business decision?
Which brings us to what might be the biggest unmanaged risk in the corporate world today. Because if the formal governance frameworks don't exist, and the mandatory HR training isn't instilling actual daily habits, well, employees aren't just sitting idle, right?
No, they have deadlines to meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want that 30% speed boost for their own sanity, so they are going rogue.
And this is a systemic vulnerability known as BYOAI.
Bring your own AI.
Precisely. The Microsoft and LinkedIn 2024 Work Trend Index tracked this, and they reported that 75% of global knowledge workers use AI at work. But the critical finding, and this is the scary part, is that 78% of those users deliberately bypass sanctioned, secure organizational tools to bring their own preferred AI tools into the workflow.
And it is the equivalent of everyone in a commercial restaurant kitchen bringing their own secret, completely unlabeled ingredients from home.
That is the perfect analogy.
You've got, like, line cooks pulling mystery jars out of their backpacks and just throwing them into the soup, and the head chef has absolutely no idea what's actually going out to the dining room.
Yeah. The tools are spreading through the workforce at the speed of curiosity, while the corporate rules are stuck at the speed of legal review.
The speed of curiosity versus the speed of legal review. That is exactly where your proprietary data leaks out, isn't it?
Exactly. And the CPG environments Denyse discusses offer some pretty chilling real-world scenarios of BYOAI in action.
Like what?
Well, picture a brand manager under deadline pressure. They take highly sensitive proprietary consumer research data that cost a fortune to gather, by the way, and they just paste it into a random public AI tool to get a quick summary for a meeting.
Oh, no.
And they do it simply because nobody explicitly provided a secure tool or told them the public model would use that data for future training.
So the data is just out in the wild now.
Completely. And the risk is just as bad on the output side. The source text highlights scenarios where an employee asks an AI for a competitive analysis, and the AI confidently hallucinates plausible-sounding but completely fake competitor claims.
And the employee just, copies and pastes that directly into a strategy document?
Yep. Or they use an open-source model to draft consumer-facing language for a new product, and the AI embeds subtle, unverified health claims into the phrasing.
And suddenly, the company is legally liable for a health claim a robot invented.
Exactly. And the stakes for your own career are suddenly sky high because there are two very loud clocks ticking right now. The first one is regulatory.
The EU AI Act, right?
Yes. The European Commission's AI Act, specifically Article 4, which legally mandates the AI literacy of staff, is already in application as of February 2025.
Wow, already.
The enforcement supervision rules for that act begin on August 3, 2026. So this isn't some theoretical policy debate for 5 years from now. The law has formally turned your team's AI literacy into a daily legal obligation.
That is heavy. And the second ticking clock is the career clock, which is arguably the most immediate concern for you listening today.
Yeah.
Like, a Reuters report in April 2026 detailed how Accenture is rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot to its entire workforce. We're talking 743,000 employees.
It's a massive deployment.
Huge. But the crucial takeaway from that rollout is that they're explicitly tying leadership promotions directly to AI usage.
And that shifts the entire career signaling landscape. AI is no longer a niche optional tool for the tech-savvy early adopters. It is a strict baseline performance expectation.
Right.
If you avoid AI entirely out of caution, your output looks incredibly slow, expensive, and irrelevant to leadership. But if you use AI recklessly through those BYOAI habits, your work becomes a massive legal liability that is impossible for your managers to safely approve.
So the central question of this deep dive is how you operate in that reality. How do we actually achieve responsible speed?
Right.
Like, how do you maintain the 30% productivity boost without bringing those unlabeled mystery ingredients into the corporate kitchen?
Well, the solution C3 Centricity proposes is built around 6 AI literacy habits. And these aren't meant to be like massive bureaucratic hurdles that take hours to complete.
Good, because nobody has time for that.
Exactly. They are lightweight, daily operating principles designed to fit into a real work week and create an invisible, highly effective audit trail.
Okay, so let's break these down. The first line of defense is actually just leaving a breadcrumb trail, right? Habit 1 is the minimal audit trail.
Yes. And the source really stresses this should take seconds, not hours. It is literally just a short note attached in the appendix or metadata of your work detailing 4 things: what specific tool was used, what raw inputs were provided to it, what prompt was asked, and what the final output's purpose is.
The hidden benefit of this is that it completely solves the most dreaded corporate moment, the silent meeting.
Oh, the absolute worst.
Right. Picture being in a cross-functional review meeting. A beautifully polished slide deck goes up on the screen, and the VP of marketing pauses and says, wait, where did this specific consumer insight on slide 14 come from?
And the room just goes dead silent.
Completely silent. Because the mid-level manager who built the slide knows an AI generated that bullet point, but they have absolutely no idea what raw data fed it.
Exactly. A minimal audit trail prevents that panic entirely. Everyone knows the exact origin of the ingredient.
But knowing the origin doesn't actually solve the hallucination problem, which brings us to habit 2, separate facts and judgment.
Generative AI is notoriously dangerous because of its tone. It smoothly blends verified hard facts with completely confident fiction.
Yeah, it never sounds unsure of itself.
Never. And it presents both with the exact same authoritative voice. It doesn't put a little red asterisk next to its best guesses.
So if the AI output says, competitor X is launching a new flavor profile next month, you have to interrogate that. Is that a hard fact pulled from a public press release? Or is that a predictive inference the AI generated based on historical launch trends?
Right. And the rule here is simple. If a statement is presented as a fact, it requires a verifiable external human source attached to it.
Okay.
But if it is an inference, an editorial synthesis, or a prediction generated by the AI, it must be explicitly labeled as such in the document. If a consumer or retailer or regulator could challenge the statement, you either source it or you delete it.
Okay, so this thematic grouping of defending the output leads directly into habit 5, which is the short decision record.
Yeah, this is about documenting the human logic layered on top of the AI output. It is simply 3 to 5 sentences noting what final decision was made, why it was chosen, what alternative options were ruled out, and what specific new piece of information would cause the team to change this conclusion.
Okay, I'm going to push back pretty hard on the practicality of this one.
Fair enough.
You're asking a team that we're trying to move 30% faster to stop and write a highly documented decision record for their daily choices. Doesn't adding that kind of homework back into the workflow totally kill the speed boost we are trying to harness?
On the surface, it definitely feels like friction, but the operational reality is the exact opposite.
How so?
Think about one of the most massive time drains in corporate life.
Yeah.
The endless reopening of past decisions by different stakeholders.
Oh, yeah, that's a nightmare.
Right. And AI actually exacerbates this problem exponentially because it makes generating revisions completely effortless. A stakeholder can look at a campaign concept and say, can we see what this looks like with a slightly friendlier tone, targeting a slightly younger demographic?
And the AI instantly spits out 10 new, highly polished variations.
Exactly.
Right, so the team gets trapped in an endless loop of iterations because creating a new version costs 0 effort.
Precisely. Without a written decision record, that conversation loops forever, draining human bandwidth. The short decision record acts as a dam against the flood of endless AI revisions.
Oh, I see.
It plants a flag in the ground. By writing down, we chose concept A because it aligns with our Q3 margin goals, and we ruled out concept B because of supply chain constraints. you freeze the process.
That makes total sense.
It clearly demonstrates how AI informed the options while proving a human definitively made the choice. It saves countless hours of relitigating the exact same ground.
That reframes it perfectly. You are standardizing the defense of the work. So those three habits, the minimal audit trail, separating facts from judgment, and the short decision record ensure the individual output is bulletproof.
Yes.
But nobody works in a vacuum. A major part of the C3 centricity methodology focuses on how the team operates collectively, to avoid redundant mistakes and catastrophic groupthink.
Right, and the transition to team accountability starts with habit 3. One named reviewer for high-stakes work. Committees are just the enemy of AI accountability.
Oh, always.
When a document generated by AI goes to a committee of 5 people for review, the diffusion of responsibility just takes over. Everyone assumes one of the other 4 people is doing the rigorous line-by-line fact-checking.
Which means literally nobody is actually doing it.
Exactly.
But I'm struggling to see how naming just one reviewer doesn't instantly create a massive operational bottleneck. Like, if one person is legally on a hook for everything the AI generates, won't they just freeze up and refuse to approve anything?
Well, they will scrutinize it heavily, which is exactly the intended feature, not a bug.
Oh, right.
Given that 87% of companies lack formal human oversight policies, applying a single named reviewer changes the behavioral psychology instantly. When your name is the solitary signature authorizing a public-facing asset, you start skimming the AI output and you start interrogating it.
Right, you take it seriously.
But to prevent the bottleneck you're worried about, this rule is strictly reserved for high-stakes work, which connects directly to Habit 4, explicit red zones.
And this connects back to the EU AI Act risk framework, doesn't it? Not all AI tasks carry the same weight. You have to categorize the work.
Yes. Responsible AI integration doesn't mean applying maximum friction to every single task.
Right.
A team using AI to brainstorm internal icebreakers for an offsite retreat is operating in a very low-risk zone. But using AI to generate regional pricing strategies, draft direct competitor comparison charts, or make health-adjacent claims on a food product, those are explicit red zones.
The key is that you cannot wait for a crisis to define what a red zone is for your team. You have to define those boundaries clearly right now.
Exactly.
You map out the high-risk tasks so the team knows exactly when to trigger the one-name reviewer protocol. And to make sure everyone is operating with the same baseline of safety, we look at Habit 6, shared prompt hygiene.
This one is huge. Think about your own internal communication channels right now. How many times a week do you see someone paste a random, highly complex prompt they found on social media into a Slack channel, urging everyone to try it out?
All the time.
And that behavior creates wild inconsistencies and risk. One person's private prompt might unknowingly instruct the AI to aggressively extrapolate and invent missing data to complete a table, while the person sitting next to them is using a prompt that is overly cautious and yields completely useless results.
It's chaos.
So moving away from private prompt tricks means building a shared team library for common, recurring weekly tasks, things like concept screening, sentiment analysis, or competitor scans.
Instead of everyone acting like selfish wizards hoarding their own magical AI spells, you build a shared organizational fluency.
Selfish wizards. I love that.
Right. You standardize the safety constraints inside the prompt, which frees the team to focus on the creativity of the output. When an approval request comes across a manager's desk, they don't have to guess how the AI was instructed.
Exactly. They know exactly which standardized prompt architecture generated the draft, which makes the review process drastically faster.
So to operationalize these 6 habits, Denyse introduces 2 specific, highly practical frameworks.
Yeah, the first is QC2, which serves as a diagnostic tool for those inevitable moments when a team gets bogged down arguing over an AI-generated asset. Usually, these arguments spiral into emotional, political debates pretty quickly.
Oh, 100%.
So the QC2 framework forces the team to isolate the exact source of the friction. Is the hesitation about quality and context? Or is it a friction point regarding company rights, like potential intellectual property violations or brand guideline breaches?
Okay.
Or is the friction based in the consumer reality, meaning the AI output, while technically accurate, feels inauthentic to how a real human actually buys the product?
I see. It de-escalates the argument by categorizing the doubt. Like, if marketing wants to move forward but legal is blocking it, QC2 isolates the issue strictly to company rights. You solve the IP issue without debating the creative merit.
Exactly, it removes the emotion. And the second framework is CatSight, which addresses the back end of the process.
Yeah.
Generative AI is incredibly adept at producing what Denyse accurately terms well-formatted noise.
Well-formatted noise. That is so painfully true.
Right. It can give you 10 perfectly bulleted, highly articulate marketing ideas that ultimately mean absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
So CatSight is an analytical filter designed to translate that AI output into specific, measurable behavior change targets.
Okay, so it stops a team from just blindly accepting a neat list of ideas. If the AI suggests a new promotional angle for a product, you run it through the CapSite framework to ask, what specific consumer behavior is this insight actually targeting, and how will we measure the change?
Yes. If the AI's output cannot be mapped to a tangible behavior change metric, you discard it. It forces the AI to act as a rigorous business tool, not just a brainstorming novelty.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
But these two frameworks function as accelerators, and their effectiveness relies entirely on having those 6 foundational habits firmly established in your team's daily routine first, right?
Absolutely. The habits have to come first.
So, bringing this all directly back to your daily reality as a listener, the operational landscape has permanently shifted. Achieving AI literacy is no longer just checking a box on an HR portal so you can get back to your real job.
No, it is a fundamental duty of care for your profession.
The sweeping EU regulations are already in effect. Massive enterprise organizations are already tying career advancement to your ability to wield these tools effectively.
The accountability gap is wide open, and the liability lands squarely on the individuals producing the work.
Yep. By diligently integrating these 6 habits, leaving a minimal audit trail, ruthlessly separating facts from judgment, documenting your short decision records, utilizing one named reviewer for high-stakes output, clearly defining your red zones, and standardizing shared prompt hygiene, you completely insulate yourself.
You really do.
You stop being the cautionary tale in a future compliance meeting. You unlock the 30% speed boost, but you do it with total defensibility.
And for leaders looking to implement this level of operational readiness, the source material highly encourages visiting c3centricity.com. You can subscribe to their channel for deeper marketing insights, and importantly, you can book a free business makeover session with Denyse and her expert team to assess your own team's specific vulnerabilities.
Fantastic resource. So we've talked extensively today about creating these meticulous, detailed trails of how you interact with AI. We are diligently recording our prompts, our raw inputs, and our exact decision records to prove to our human managers that we are using the tools responsibly.
Which is necessary right now, but it does lead to a pretty fascinating thought. Think about it. If massive companies are already explicitly tying our career promotions to how effectively we use AI, and we're simultaneously building these highly structured, easily readable digital audit trails, mapping every single nuance of our daily judgment calls.
Hey.
How long before the AI itself is the entity analyzing those very trails to decide who gets promoted?